That kid had never joined the Marine Corps, but you can change his life. Gunnery Sgt. Tyler Jennings. I work at Recruiting Station, Mansfield, Texas. I've recently just won MCRC Recruiter of the Year for 2018. When I first got to BRC, I was actually really nervous. I was young and it was intimidating, to be honest with you, and you start having those immediate doubts about recruiting duty. Am I going to be successful? What is it going to be like? One thing that you need to realize at BRC is there's going to be smart people that are good with the books, and then there's me that struggled with the test and struggled with the books. You know, that was nervous on the simulated phone calls. But you have to find the happy medium. I'm not telling you to do bad at the schoolhouse just because I did. I'm just telling you to try to soak in what you can and really push to learn and educate yourself. You know, try to work on yourself. From the time you're at BRC, from the time that you check into your unit, get in the best shape as possible. Study yourself, seek knowledge, but pull your family closer. Because at BRC, that's what it's for. Because you're gonna get on-the-job training when you get here, and at the schoolhouse, just focus on being you, focus on becoming a better you, and just remember the basic skill sets, and that'll pay off in the long run. I was nervous, I was red-faced, I was sweaty palms when I talked to people, but it was a pressure that my peers put on me, and the pressure of just being a successful Marine is really what pushed me over the top. My first class talk, I remember the exact room where it was at. My staff NCO was like, hey, I'm gonna do the first part of it and then you're gonna do the second part. And he got up there and just kind of crushed it, and he just threw me into the fire. The whole time I was nervous looking up to him as he's doing it, like, man, this is gonna be hard to top. But he kind of just threw me out there, and he made me realize at the end of it, we talked, and it was like, you have to be yourself. You know, this is your talk, this is your classroom, and at the end of the day, like, I'm a Marine, and these kids will look up to you because of that, and you need to stand firm in that and be confident in who you are as a Marine more than anything, because you know the Marine Corps, they don't. If you haven't heard, you'll be at the recruiting school, and even when you're in the fleet, you'll hear, oh man, we got a nasty recruiter checking in, they're gonna be fat and out of shape. So I was like, man, like, I don't want that to be me when I was coming on recruiting duty. And it's crazy enough in the schoolhouse, like, hey, maybe get your coat a little bit bigger, your trousers a little bit bigger, because you're gonna gain some weight because you're stressed, you're working a lot, your eating habits are gonna change. And I will say, when I first got out here, I believed it and I lived it for the first few months. And at that point I wasn't successful. But once I started to adapt to the Marine Corps concepts again, on recruiting duty, I'm in the best shape of my life. I've never ran faster, I've never done more pull-ups, I've never been even, I'm the best Marine that I've ever been because of recruiting duty, and it was going through that embarrassment of failure out here and accepting it that made me push to be the best Marine that I can, and that's why I'm in the best shape that I am now. Failure on recruiting duty is a huge word. If you don't accept it, you're not humble enough, and you're not going to be successful out here at the end of the day. Every day you're going to be told no. Every day you're going to feel like you're not good enough because you're going to have pressure on you from your staff NCO. You're going to talk to thousands of people. You know, I look back and I got my first government phone and it had 0 contacts in it, and then leaving recruiting duty with like 1,600 to 1,700 contacts in there or more, which is crazy. You know, that's over 3 years. But through that process, that's only people that wanted to talk to me, kind of, sort of. You know, you get told no a lot. And when we talked about time management, we need to talk about when to move on. They don't have to be big and strong and fast in the beginning, because if somebody's committed and has heart, that's the person you want to be mentoring and molding. You know, if the big, strong dude does a lot of pull-ups, but he doesn't have that in him, then you need to learn to move on. He doesn't want to be recruited, so don't force it. You want to recruit the individuals that really want to become more and really want to be Marines. Out here, honor is huge. You have to stand by it at all times. You're going to be tempted in multiple ways, and that temptation can come from a teacher, a counselor. It can come from an 18-year-old kid. You don't know where it's going to come from, because you're an influencer, you're an image, and people want to be a part of that. They're attracted to it, and that's really good as long as you keep the cards in your hand and you're playing it on your terms. That's what you want out here. and you don't want to go down a dark path. You want to make sure you're staying in that good line, that honor, courage, and commitment that we do stand by, and at the same time, push yourself to become better on a daily basis, because that's going to remind you who you are, and that's really important out here. My relationships that are tied to my life are why I'm successful. At the end of the day, you know, they gave me push, they gave me drive. And yes, there was times where I didn't see my son for, 3 days when he was 15 minutes down the road. And I would always think, that I'm doing this for him. I'm doing this for my wife. If I can invest now, our future will be brighter. And it was stressful in the beginning, but my wife bought into the same concept, and she was forced to find a support group. She got involved with the command, which is so outside of her bubble as well. So it's going to push your whole family to new levels. But at the same time, if you're not married, you need to, continue to talk to your mom and dad, continue to talk to your brothers and sisters or siblings, because those are your motivators. Tell them you're going to make them proud constantly, so you believe it. All right, so, at this point, you're going to be a recruiter, and you need to make the most of it. You can honestly come off of this recruiting duty as meritoriously promoted or not. It's up to you. It's up to you to wake up every single day and to be successful. It's up to you to wake up and change people's lives. You're out here for 36 months. You can, add friction against the system, or you can be successful. You can change lives, or you can have friction. Every day you walk into the office, you walk into the gym, it should be to make a difference. And if you, walk in the dark or come in with a bad attitude, you're honestly only hurting yourself, and you're hurting the kid that walked by you that needed a life change, that you were too caught up in yourself to even ask the question, hey, would you like to join the Marine Corps? That kid could have been maybe homeless. That kid could have had a bad home life. Think about that. Every day you wake up, make sure it's for a purpose and for a reason, because you're out here for 36 months. And make the most of it. Impact the community, impact yourself, and make a difference for the Marine Corps, because you are feeding the Marine Corps' next generation.